I am here to share my thermography journey with you. I am so excited to share this journey with you because when you've heard of thermography and you probably looked into getting one done if you're watching this video or just seeing what it's all about, you browse the website, but there's you don't have a clue of really what goes on behind the scenes, what the room looks like. It's just up to your imagination. So I wanted to share my journey as I did this with Austin Thermography from before. In this video here, I'm going to be talking about the prep, and then I'll show you when I'm there, and then I will show you a video afterwards as well that I'm going to be talking about what was discovered, some of my results, and hopping on the phone with the doctor, which is an additional cost, but I wanted to do to understand what my thermography showed and, next steps, I guess. So starting off with the prep, there is some things you have to be mindful for before your appointment. And what I really, really love about Austin Thermography is that there's a couple options. So I did the full body scan because I'm all about that. I'm show me from head to toe how my body is working, what's going on. But you can just do breast, you can just do torso. So you have different options, which is great. For me, like I said, I chose the full body. And so there are a variety of different preparations that I had to do to go into the appointment ready. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, so 1 week prior, you are going to want to avoid too much sun exposure. That also includes up to 48 hours before, really limiting sun exposure as well. And if you are a male, you are going to want to shave your face and neck and back. If you have sun burns, you are going to have to reschedule your appointment. So to avoid that, just avoid the sun. Now going into 24 hours, these are the things that you need to avoid. You need to avoid chiropractic care, massage therapy, and acupuncture. You need to make sure you're not doing saunas, any steam baths, hot tubs, heating pads, hot water bottles, anything of that nature. Do not shave your armpits, and you want to reschedule if you experience a significant fever. You're going to want to refrain from any sexual activity and no certain creams or balms. And so this is 24 hours prior to your exam. Now, the day of your exam, you are going to want to do these things. You want to wear just thong underwear, especially if you're doing full body. Underwear is totally optional though, so best results are without it. Don't use creams, lotions, cosmetics, ointments, deodorant, perspirants, powders, basically any skincare product. You want to bring a hair tie, so tie your hair back, remove as much as you can of the hair on your forehead and the back of the neck, and then also removing any piercings and jewelry prior to the exam. All right, now going into 4 hours prior, you are going to avoid hot showers or shaving, avoid physical therapy or exercise, no coffee, tea, soda, anything really containing caffeine, and no alcoholic beverages. You also don't want to smoke, and you do not want to wear a bra if you are a woman leading up to 4 hours going into the exam. Now, 2 hours before going into the exam, you are going to avoid hot and cold liquids, avoid eating or chewing gum, and avoid using a cell phone. And then during the exam, really trying to stay calm because stress can affect your results, even though it's a little nerve-wracking, especially if you don't know what to expect. But going into this next phase of the video, let me show you the day of things that she taught me as she was going through the different things that she required of me to do, different stances, and just the whole process. Okay, I am on the way to get my thermography all done. I want to shave my pits and just chew gum, and these are the things that I cannot do right now, but I'm really pumped to show you just once I get there the office and how it's set up. You will not see me naked though, getting my thermography done. I'm here, and here I have Amanda.
Hi, good morning.
And so she's showing me a little bit about now what we're doing. I have my hair up, but she says no wispies.
Yes, we've got to make sure, because we want to get the vascular patterns in the forehead, we want to make sure nothing is coming down here. Okay. And we're also going to get the thyroid, so we've got to get all of the wispies off of the neck.
Whoa.
hair can leave a heat signature on the skin. And so since we're getting the heat that the body's emitting naturally, no hair on the skin whatsoever. So we've got bands, bobby pins, utilize whatever you need.
Perfect.
All right, I'm gonna step out.
All right, I'm gonna get my Westies out. So what's the first step?
Okay, so what I always do whenever I have somebody come in is I'll tell you to go ahead and place your belongings here. You can have a seat here. So it is back and front. It's a total of 30 images.
Wow, so cool.
So we are literally getting, like I said, the forehead, top of the head, not counting the hair, all the way down. If you flip it around, we're also getting the bottoms of the feet. So literally everything from head to toe is going to be screened today.
She's going to show us how it works.
Yes. So we are going to acclimate for 10 minutes. You're going to be behind this privacy curtain. So it's really important that I show you everything. So that way, as you're listening to the sound of my voice, it makes more sense and you know exactly which different positions I'm going to get you in. So you are going to start about where this larger duct tape is, and you're going to be facing the camera. So you want to make sure that we are not trapping any heat under the underarms and that we're not crossing the legs or touching, scratching, itching at all. As I mentioned before, it puts a heat signature. You are more than welcome to look there. That's what I'll be seeing in the images. And as I touch, the camera is a high infrared camera, so you can literally see as I put, handprints on. So that is why it's super important that we don't touch, scratch, or itch at all.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Then I'm going to get really itchy, right? Because when you say you don't, I'm like, oh gosh.
All the time. As soon as I say that, everything itches and you want to touch, and so I totally understand. So I'm going to leave you for 10 minutes. Okay. Hands like so. You can go out. I always joke, you can YMCA, whatever you need to do, as long as the elbows stay out. If hands are out, whatever is more comfortable. Okay. Like I said, don't cross the legs. Okay. Keep them about shoulder width apart.
So I hope that gave you a little bit of insight of what the room looks like at Austin Thermography, what is required. Of course, I had way more stances to get down because I was doing a full body, but Amanda was so great. She really, even though it felt overwhelming, she really helped me move through as we were doing the session, all the different poses and all that. So she was so fantastic. I felt so safe. Never felt like there was a breach in privacy. It was just a really comfortable environment. So I really want to encourage you to get yours done. Stay on top of your health. And so I also, like I said, I mentioned in the beginning, I did the 15-minute call with the doctor to go over it. This doctor does these thermography scans for years, and so he just goes over it with you and lets you know if something stands out to him. Here I'll post a picture. This is not my body, but this is just what a sample would look like, and I will show you some in the video, but obviously there's, it's my body. It's like you're naked, so you do see it. So I didn't want to completely show all my pictures that I got done and show you my naked body. Some things that I really took away from this, because what was really cool, and I did not plan it this way, is I actually did my stool test at the same time I got my thermography. So there was some nice overlap and just a lot of connection and helping with confirmation of some of the stuff I found in my stool. If you don't listen to Functional Nutrition Radio, on where all podcasts play, Spotify, iTunes, go listen to it. I don't know exactly the episode that it's in or the episode number that I did this topic, but I shared my stool test results with you because there were some really surprising things. And I found that my body really needs to support detoxification. I always knew that I sucked at detox, just naturally. I know there's some genetic things that I feel like are just against me, but genetics are still so new, and epigenetics of what genes are turned on and off and all that. But I just had a feeling that I wasn't the best. I never sweated. It's really hard for me to sweat, but I'm actually improving that a lot. And even though I go to the bathroom every day, I honestly suck at hydration. I have to force myself to drink. I constantly have to have a water with me so I can drink. There's so many things that I just feel like I need an improvement on. And so obviously it showed my stool test with some bacteria that was off, and then a couple enzymes that's really important for detoxification. And when these enzymes are high, like it was on my stool test, it basically reabsorbs all the toxins and hormones trying to leave the body, it reabsorbs them. So super cool. And why I mentioned this is because in my thermography, in my liver section of my body, there was more inflammation and heat around that area. Obviously, kind of what I guessed, and this confirmed it for me, is that yes, my body, my liver, because that's where so much detox is happening, it's just overworking. The poor thing is overworked. I want to support that as much as possible. So I loved that confirmed my suspicions with that. Also with my breast, my left breast was a little bit warmer than my right. And so following up with a breast ultrasound is going to happen because that's what he suggested, and regularly doing breast checks. Nothing crazy concerning, but just to stay on top of it. I now have a baseline, and that's what I think is really important, is because a lot of people will only do these things when there's an issue. But what I think is such an importance is that doing it now, even if you feel good, just so you can start watching how your body's changing over the years. To me, this is where prevention truly is starting to see the patterns of the body. Like, I'm going to redo my thermography in months to come, see what changed, see if all the lifestyle things I'm implementing are changing and improving my situation, as well as the stool test, retesting that to make sure my diet and supplements are supporting what I need it to support. And so seeing these patterns of our body is where so important, so important. He mentioned needing some lymph work, so I'm gonna really work on lymphatic drainage. And it was really cool to hear him, as doing this for years, explain like lymphatic drainage and how it could be also draining in my breast and kind of puddling, so to speak. I know it's kind of layman's terms. And then also going into my gastrointestinal tract as well, because he saw that even though my sinuses, it was pretty normal. On the left side, it was a little bit more. And so he suggested going to an ENT. So it was awesome to have next steps of like, okay, these are your results. There was nothing crazy concerning, but just like, great, we now have a baseline, and let's change things, let's improve things, and see where it goes. I think what also helps too when you do a call with the doctor is that when you look at it, you might like freak out because there's a lot of things that might show up in yellow or red. What was really helpful, because he's done this for so many years, is say, okay, I see, some yellow spots and vascular activity on both sides of the abdomen. But him knowing, and me mentioning that I'm pretty active, he's like, I see this a lot in active people. So getting that point of view also helped with interpreting the results. Because to me, these are hard to interpret. Yes, you can see yellow and red and green and blue and purple, but I think having that point of view is just a 15-minute call can help ease your mind in certain things, because you might freak out and be like, oh my gosh. And it could be completely normal, or just seen in people who are like active or do this or do that. And I also have scoliosis. So that was really cool to see my back, and where I had scoliosis, there was more heat because obviously the pressure is there. And so I'm grateful to see a chiropractor every week to help with that. And so seeing like top of my neck and shoulders could also be from exercising, and then my lower back where I have scoliosis. So that's my experience with thermography. It was so great. And depending on budget, if you need to start with just breast, or maybe that's where your concern is, or full body, get a baseline with where you're at, and don't wait until you have an issue, because what the thermography is showing is a lot of the physiology that an ultrasound or other procedures that are pretty common, maybe it picks up the physical aspect of the body, but not the physiological aspect of the body. So seeing where more heat, more activity, more vascular activity is so awesome to see. So I'm going to put all their information in the description if you live local to Austin. And I'm sure if you don't live local to Austin, there is a place near you. So you just want to type in your area and search thermography and see what pops up. But I highly recommend Austin Thermography if you are here in Austin or the surrounding areas. It's such a trip that's so worth it. So if you have any questions, leave them below.